Welcome to the Abandoned Records Division of the Velyograd Republic. I am Vera, your Population Commissioner, uploading current data. Current population of Velyograd, 1. Please do not be alarmed. This statistic serves as a rare proof. Loneliness and togetherness may sometimes be one and the same.
It's the last day of school. I don't feel like joining the crowd outside. All that cheering, hugging, shouting, just not my scene. So instead, I opened the book Lena wrapped in newspaper and given me for my birthday last year. I'm sure right now she's somewhere quiet, watching from afar, thinking about the 4 years behind us. I read this book just to fall asleep. When I'm dreaming, I'm safe. I'm sure right now she's somewhere quiet, watching from afar, thinking about The last thing I asked Lana was if she remembered the day we first met. Wasn't it in the chemistry lab? She said. And so I reminded her of that night. I fell asleep on the bus. I got off in some neighborhood I never heard of, rain pouring down. I stood under a street lamp trying to figure out where Our eyes met. I must have looked completely lost. I told her all this, just as it happened. Even said I felt the future shift a little in that moment. But Lena insisted it happened much, much later. Sometimes memories act like uncanny creatures, shifting places the moment I blink, or turn away, or simply stop. When the crowd thinned out and lights faded, I began to suspect this wasn't my story at all. I felt the same way in the second grade when I lost my notebook. Notes in the front, diary in the back. Lena found it and returned it next day. She added strange drawings across my memories. One looked like a crying potato that suspiciously resembled me. Velyograd High School number 12 must have seen storms of every kind within its walls. In these hallways, among whispers that now drift like a tired, aimless wind, it's the common murmur of those unhappy with themselves. I think the voices are heading towards the restroom. You have a face, yes, but it's the kind of face that seems like it might say something at first glance, yet when you are not looking, it's just sits there. That's my face. Here's a question. Can a person long for something they never lived? I think about it. Great loves, fights, and reconciliations. I've heard them all from others, mostly the old ones. I carry myself everywhere I go. Maybe it's best if I just go nowhere. I think about it. Great loves, fights, and reconciliations. I've heard them all from others, mostly the old ones. Who cares? That tiny reflex, hoping to look a little better. I think the voices are heading towards the restroom. I could stop and rest, but turning back feels... I think the voices are heading towards the restroom. You have a face, but it's the kind of face, it's just... Here's a question. Can a person... I think about it. Great loves, fights, and reconciliations. I've heard them all from others, mostly the old ones. Who cares? Lena gave me this book at our hiding spot by the river, just before they built the bridge. Why build a bridge when we already have a boat, she said. Honestly, back then I agreed with anything she said. I hate that bridge, I told her. Let's never cross it, she said. Let's kill everyone who crossed it, I said. Okay, that's a bit much, she replied. I agreed with her. She was right. Last year, I told Lena cutting her hair short was a terrible idea. My punishment was getting thrown right into this wall. The buckle of my bag cracked to concrete. Now, whenever I stand here, my eyes find that tiny fracture again and again. I know I don't want to remember this, but I do anyway. So you slipped away like a rat, waiting for nightfall to dive into darkness. The dark took you in, and you let it happen. I still feel its weight, as if someone built this wall just to collapse in one clean piece. Right. My eyelids, swollen from crying, finally closed. I fell asleep. The wall wasn't cold. It was dark, yes, but a darkness that knew me, one that said my name. Wait, how did it know my name? The buckle of my bag cracked to concrete. Now, whenever I stand here, my eyes find that tiny fracture again and again. It's cold out here. I'll catch a chill. I'm going back inside. The buckle of my bag cracked to concrete. Now, whenever I stand here, my eyes find that tiny fracture again and again. I know I don't want to remember this, but I do anyway. So you slipped away like a rat, waiting for nightfall to dive into darkness. The dark took you in. I still feel its weight, as if someone built. My eyelids, swollen from crying, finally closed. I fell asleep. Early this year, Lena stayed with me for about a month. She said she was depressed. It was a rough time, but I secretly loved it. I mean, of course, I felt sorry for her. One evening, out of boredom, we opened the fridge and sat facing it. On the shelf, we both knelt before it, like worshippers, silently devoted. I tried to keep a straight face, thinking Lena must be feeling better now, but she burst into tears.
Welcome to the Abandoned Records Division of the Velyograd Republic. I am Vera, your field commissioner, uploading current data. 12% of forests regularly change position on the map. Windows stay where they are, yet show a different view each morning. I must tell you this, most people who go missing vanish while believing they never moved. At night, the mountains glow with an unusual light. From afar it looks like moonlight playing tricks. Up close, you see each tiny thought in your mind was born from a vast universe. The cosmos is not in the sky. It hides in the mountain's body. It leaks outward through openings no wider than a fingertip, watching you with indescribable curiosity. Don't worry, these readings reflect the natural rhythm of Velyograd ecosystem.
To reach the parking lot, you must pass through this forest. And also our secret riverside spot and the bridge. It's too dark. I can't see a thing. I've checked everywhere. There's no one else in the school but me. Just put the book away already. Its pages are empty anyway. It was a freezing day. Snowflakes melted mid-air before they could touch the ground. When Lena saw it snow, she abandoned our beer plan and insisted we just walk instead. We talked about nonsense and laughed at things only the two of us found funny, like always. Then we stopped by a phone booth. Lena picked up the receiver and mashed buttons. Even though she knew it would later, she suddenly complained, wishing we'd bought beer up. Her complaining grew louder, wilder, almost too much. I watched her amused. I bent down to pet a passing cat, tripped on the curb and fell. The whole school swarmed me. I saw Lena a little distance away, laughing so hard she could. Then somehow, we ended up, and out of nowhere, I asked her what she'd do. She looked at me. Her eyes were so moist. I could see everything clearly there. I saw a city I'd never been to, street by street. A neon-lit square, a record shop with a deep blue curtain in the window. Even the cafe where she'd read in the evenings. 4 years of breathing the same air as her, closer than I've been. She spoke for me when I stopped speaking. She broke every excuse I made to myself. Lena shaped all my darkness into a velvet flower. Countless times it was Lena, always there with her warnings telling me never to cross the bridge. And in the moment I blinked, turned away, or stopped looking, everything shifted places.